Hello everyone, in this video we'll be learning about how to use where condition in our query builder. So in previous video we saw how can we retrieve data from database, and now we will see how can we use where condition in it. So let's go to our method. In here, as I said, we will start with db. From db facade we will call table method. In table we have to specify our table name. So our table name is posts, right? Now after selecting our table, then we will call where method. Then in where method we can pass some arguments like column name, operator and value. So suppose let's go to our DB manager. In here I want to retrieve this row. So this row's ID is 10, right? So I will retrieve via ID in where condition. So in where condition, as I said, we can pass column name. So our column name is ID. So I will specify ID. We will add our operator. For that I will add a comma, then again quotation. In quotation I will say is equals to, then I will add another comma, then I will specify the value. So our ID is 10, so I will say 10. Okay, after that we will take our arrow operator and then say get. So that will retrieve our data from the database, and depending on the condition we added. Let's go to our front end and refresh. Sorry, we didn't return this query. Let's return it and then let's refresh it. You can see we are getting that row, right? And you can see the ID is 10 and we are successfully retrieving that entry from our database, right? Now let's go to our code editor again. As you can see, in where condition we are passing column, operator and the value that we want to retrieve. We can do it little bit short way, like I can remove this operator. If I just say ID comma then the value, it will exactly work like this. ID operator will be is equals to and the value, right? If I remove this and then I refresh my front end, you can see still I am getting that value, right? So that's how you can use a simple condition on when you retrieving your data. Now we will see little more, like if I press Ctrl Z. Now if I say greater than, so now what it will do, basically it will retrieve the rows from database which ID is greater than 10, right? Now if I go to my database manager, so we will be retrieving data from 11 number ID and we will retrieve them all from cause 11 is greater than 10, right? So if I go to my front end and refresh, you can see we are retrieving data from ID 11 because we put a condition here that the ID will be greater than 10. Okay, now that's mean we are retrieving data by conditions. You can be more creative with it, and if you want to add another where condition, you can use it. You can just chain it here. Let's say I will again call where condition and put the column name. The column name will ID, and I will add another operator. Let's say it will be less than, and I will say less than 20. So I will be retrieving data from ID 11 to ID 19, right? Now if I go to my front end and refresh, you can see our retrieving start from ID 11 and the last entry is ID 19 because it's I said less than 20. So that's how you chain your where conditions. You can add another one if you want, just you have to chain them in your query. Now let's see another example. Let me remove this condition. Okay, now if I refresh the front end, it will give me the all data from my table, right? Now let's go to our DB manager. From here we have a status column, right? So in status column I will change some of the rows values, like let's change some. I will add some zeros instead of 1. So the plan is I will be retrieving only the value, only the rows those have 0 in the status. Okay, for that, and it's again the same, we will call where method. Sorry. Then in where we will say, now we are specifying our column name status. Then we have to mention the value, so I will say 0, right? We can use operator here, sure, but as I said, this is the shorthand of is equals to. So instead of doing that, we can just say column name comma your value 0. If I now go to my front end and refresh, you can see all the status 0 rows has been written here, right? There is no status 1. We have also some rows that have status 1, but those aren't in our collection right now. We are only collecting those rows, those who has status 0 on them. Now a similar way we can do it with 1. If I pass value 1, and not to mention that we can use it like this also. We are specifying the operator now. If you are using is equals to operator, you don't have to mention it like this. You can just go with this pattern, the column name and the value. And if you are using another or other operators, like let's say is not is equals to or anything, you have to specify it here, otherwise it won't work. Let's say I will put it like this for better understanding, the column name, operator and the value. So now let's refresh. You can see we are retrieving all the rows that have status 1, and that's it. That's how you can use where condition in your query builders pretty easily. And like I say, you can also chain your where conditions. So I guess that's it for this video.